Hey guys, Todd here with HobbyLink Japan, and today we've got some buckets of fun for everyone to talk about today. So this was an item that just kind of popped up for sale on our site. It was something that I actually had no idea that it was coming before. It just randomly showed up one day. And that's because this is not actually an item that was sold from Bandai Hobby. So of course this is something that Bandai Hobby has produced, but I think they did it for another company and they're being sold from another maker. I think it was called Heart. But anyway, what are you guys looking at? You're probably wondering what the heck is this if you haven't seen the description down below. And it shocked me too, actually. This is actually the entry grade RX-78-2 Gundam in not one but two different color sets. And yes, that officially means that this version of the entry grade has seen official release before the official Bandai Hobby entry grade release, at least for mass market anyway, which is scheduled to be released. We had it up for order on our site, which I think is not even up for order anymore, but that kit is scheduled to be released in December of 2020. And not only that, but the official Bandai Hobby release that is coming in December does not include the gun or the shield. But both of these special releases actually do both include the gun and shield. So you might be kind of wondering, well then what exactly is different? Because you can see that white one with the standard traditional colors spinning around here on the left, and then there's a red one as well. But yeah, so one way they differentiated that white release from the standard release is that this white release actually comes molded in metallic colors. So it's got a bit of a more metallic type of pearl type plastic to it. Let's see if we can hold it up to the camera so you can kind of get a better idea about what I am talking about here with the plastic for this kit. But yeah, just a bit not your standard kind of solid white. I'll go ahead and I've got, this is HG kit number 21 in the HG line, the original 2001 release of the RX-78. Now I'll be doing a separate review of this guy, doing a classic review just so I can have all of the 1/144 scale HG kits built here for the RX-78 this year. But yeah, you can see just kind of comparing the two, although it might actually be a bit hard for that camera to pick this up. It's definitely noticeable in person. The kit here on the left, the HG number 21, is just your standard solid white and solid yellow, solid red, solid blue colors, compared to the entry grade's kind of more metallic pearl type of finish here. And of course, the other edition that is spinning around here on the turntable, now because this is kind of coming out towards Christmas here, they actually call this red and green one. This is the Christmas color version. It's right there in the front now. Christmas color version of the RX-78. So if you see a red RX-78, more than likely, if you're like me, you probably think it is the Char version of the RX-78, but that is not the case for this model. It is just simply modeled in Christmas colors. And that is quite cool looking, I do have to say. And you can probably tell by looking at the two buckets on the left and the right here, which one came in which bucket. So yeah, this kit does not come packaged in a traditional box like a regular Gundam kit. It came in these cool buckets, and actually when I saw these buckets originally, after they came in, I kind of falsely assumed, because the top of this of course is a nice real plastic thing, and you got a nice plastic cover on the bottom and the top here. I thought maybe they went cheap, and this center section here, and it's a bit softer, so I figured that that was actually just a paper liner for the sides of this bucket, but actually that is not the case. This is actually plastic. It's a thinner type of plastic than the top and bottom, but yeah, the entire bucket is plastic. It is not paper, so that is going to be fantastic. These buckets here are going to be quite useful. You use it as a trash can. I mean, it's pretty decently sized. It would make a nice, great small trash can if you wanted to go that route, or if you wanted to use it to store any kind of other items, it would be really, really great for that. These are really, really nifty kind of buckets here. And actually, when you get them, when you order them from the site, and I'll talk about ordering in a second, they come packaged here. It's a bit hard for me to fit this on the camera. I don't want to zoom out, but yeah, they are wrapped in this plastic wrap straight from the factory. And here we see the kind of the image, the label on the side of this thing. That you can see the manufacturer heart, and you also see these 2 snack packs here on the left, and I'll talk about those in a bit as well. And then you got the official, this is a Sunrise Bandai official licensed, officially produced item here from that hologram. So this is what they are going to come in. So now, speaking about ordering these guys, now we ordered as many, probably I think we ordered as many as we could possibly get from these. And at the time I'm actually filming this, I believe both of them are still available, though I cannot say how long that will last. So if you are watching this at some point in the future, there is a chance that these might no longer be available. But if they are still available, and if you are slightly interested at all, definitely I would recommend getting your order in as soon as possible. Just placing it in that private warehouse of yours here at HobbyLink Japan, and just holding it and shipping it with whatever your next order may be. Because of the kind of special release for these items, this is definitely something that we're only going to probably get released once. I cannot imagine these things ever being produced again in the future. I mean, I'll never say never, but more than likely I would assume that would probably be the case. So if you're able to order these guys, do so as soon as possible. But yeah, if you're watching this at some point in the future, then apologies, they're no longer available, but probably by that time you will be able to order the regular standard release of the entry grade RX-78 in his more traditional boxing. Alright, so what you get inside of this bucket is, as you probably could tell from that label that we looked at in just a second ago on the plastic wrapped version, you do get the entry grade kit, one entry grade kit. So this it's actually a bucket of parts. I don't know how many of you out there, I think mostly, maybe only Americans from the older generation would remember the old Mr. Potato Head commercials. He's had his buckets of parts and buckets of fun for everyone. So yeah, actually this is a bucket of Gunpla parts, and yeah, it was really kind of exciting to see a bucket of Gunpla parts. And I've also heard a coworker mention that this is kind of reminded them of like a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket. Instead of chicken being on the inside, you got Gunpla. So Kentucky Fried Gunpla, here we go. But unfortunately there is no fried chicken on the inside of this, but you do get the model kit. And then you get 2 of these snack bags here. So in it says there, it's got the EFSF on the left side and the Xeon on the right side. So one bag, same snack for both of the boxes there, and it is the Gundam corn potage snack. So if you're wondering, I did eat one of the packs of these for lunch just so I could do a proper review of this item for you guys, and you might be wondering how the flavor was. I gotta say, it was pretty decently delicious. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Japanese snacks. If you are from America, you are probably more used to snacks that are probably, I would say they are salted a little bit too much in America. I mean, growing up in America, of course, I love all those snacks and potato chips from America just because they are just definitely way too sweet, and they're definitely way too salty. So for any Americans out there that are watching, thinking about eating these, the flavor is a bit more subtle than you are probably used to, but it's still quite quite delicious. It was on, it is a salty, the corn potage. Sometimes you get corn potage and it's a bit sweet flavor, but actually no, this is a more of a salty type of corn puff type of snack. And actually there is an image here on the back of this package to kind of show exactly what this corn snack would look like, and that is actually just about exactly 1:1 scale for the size of those corn snacks as well. So yeah, bit delicious here. One pack contains 20 grams of corn puffs here, and it does contain 97 kcal, of which 1.1 gram is going to be your protein, and we've got 13.5 grams of carbohydrates going on with this bad boy here. So yeah, one bucket, you are going to get not one but 2 packs of these corn snacks. So that is quite a good deal, I do have to say. You can tell actually there's 2 there in the back and 1 here in the front. That is because I definitely ate one of these beforehand, and I'm definitely going to be eating all 3 of these after the video as well. So I'm going to be enjoying some snacks here at my desk in just a few minutes. Alright, so the bucket, let's rotate one of these around so you can see all sides of it here. So it does show the entry grade logo here. I have built a couple of other entry grade kits for the show before. I think the original releases, there was a Dragon Ball release and a Kamen Rider. And I gotta say, this was quite completely different from those original entry grade Dragon Ball and Kamen Rider kits that I built originally. Don't think it mentions actually what age this was intended for on the package here, come to think of it. But yeah, the Dragon Ball and the Kamen Rider, I think the Kamen Rider was for ages 3 and above, and Dragon Ball was maybe for 6 years old and above, and they're just really simple fixed pose type of kits. But actually this is quite more similar to an HG kit than any of the other entry grades that I built before. But these kits do feature the same kind of pop-off style runner where you don't need to use nippers to remove the parts. You can just easily use your fingers to push them off. I still use my nippers to cut them off just because that's how I am. But yeah, you don't actually need to have nippers to remove the parts. You can do it that way, and there's really not a whole lot of parts to go with these guys. And they do that kind of cool molding feature where they kind of group all of the parts together. So you've got like all the head parts kind of grouped together on these runners, all the leg parts are grouped together, and the weapons are kind of grouped together. It just makes it really a lot easier to kind of organize yourself when you're building this, especially if you are new to building kits. And that's another good thing about these entry grades, is they're really, as the name implies, they're really good kits for beginner type of modelers, people that have never kind of done this before. It makes it a lot easier to figure out. You don't need the runners, and everything's molded in color, so you can put it together without needing any kind of special tools, and it is really not difficult at all. So it is a really simple instruction manual here, just a simple kind of fold out style to it, and there we go. And then there's kind of this cool information portion here in the fold in the center. It talks about the history of what is Gundam and what is Gunpla at the top. You get both the Japanese and the English there. If you're really curious about that, you can pause the video maybe and read it. If you are watching this on 4K, it might show up. Also, we have unboxing images of both of these kits up on the hobbylink.tv blog, so be sure to check that out as well if you would like to see what the runners looked like for these guys before actually doing the construction. So let's rotate this a bit around. You can see all the marks for all the different grades of Gunpla that they have. Perfect grade. Really excited, really looking forward to the 2.0 Unleashed RX-78 that is going to be released in December. So I am all into RX-78s at the moment. There we go, and it's pretty much the same exact thing for the Christmas Gundam here. We got the picture of the entry grade with the Christmas colors on the side. You get all the different grade marks, and then you get this really nice image of this mobile suit here in the Christmas colors. So, gosh, I've been going on this video quite long, and I've really kind of not talked so much about the kits itself, and I was not really expecting this to be the first time that I ever get a chance to look at and review the entry grade kit for Gunpla TV here. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's pick this guy up. I'll grab the standard color guy here and take a bit of a closer look at it. So, as I did mention, that this kit, even though it is entry grade, it is really bit more, it's kind of similar to an HG kit than an entry grade. I mean, it does still feature the snap kit construction, and it does have the runners where you can just pop it off, but other than that, it's really decent build. It was a really quick build. The only thing, it took me maybe 30 minutes, and of course I was watching something else on TV while building this thing, so I wasn't paying complete attention, but really a simple build. And actually this thing, even though it is entry grade, there are a few features for this kit that are quite improved compared to some of the HG kits, and one of those features here is going to be right there in the center of his waist. You see that yellow V there on his center section of the waist here. This is actually a piece that is molded in that gold color, and it is sandwiched there. There's a hole perfectly cut out in the red plastic piece that you can sandwich that gold piece into, so that is actually molded in color. That's another thing to mention for this kit. There were absolutely no stickers at all, and that is something quite nice, especially if this is going to be the first kit that anybody out there is going to be building on their own, because if you're doing your very first kit, the stickers really, at least for me, they're not the most exciting thing to be building or doing for these kits. So it's quite nice to have a kit here without any stickers at all, and even without the stickers, a kit that just turns out looking as stunning as this one. So yeah, you get this part here that is molded in color. Now, I mentioned that this is better than a number of other HG kits, and I looked through the other HG kits that I have built recently, and the RG kit has this molded in a separate color, so at least RG, but I mean, that's RG. RG is completely separate. But for the HG kits, there was only one other HG kit that did this style of hole cut out with the separate piece in the center there, and that was the one I just did not too long ago. That was Mr. Beyond Global. So the Beyond Global was the only other, actually, yeah, because this guy's not even HG, so Beyond Global is the only HG version of the RX-78 that actually has that center section there molded in color. All of the other HG kits, including the premium expensive G40th, they all have that part as a sticker that you will have to put on later. The original HG21 Gundam did not even include a sticker for that yellow V there in the center of his belt. No stickers at all. I mean, this guy has stickers, of course, for his eyes, but just they didn't even include a sticker at all to have that. So originally when I built this guy a long time ago, I painted it. It doesn't look that great. But yeah, no sticker at all even for this guy. So that is something that the entry grade does really nice. Here I've got Mr. Revive. Mr. Revive doesn't even have a sticker for that. Actually, I don't even recall if I even put any stickers on for this guy, to be honest. But yeah, no yellow mark for that V there. So something quite nice. Thank you, Mr. Beyond Global. Something quite nice there for the entry grade. So all of these other pieces here, no stickers at all. These are all molded in color. Same with his head there. You can see those eyes there. Yes, the eyes are actually molded in yellow too, so you're sandwiching a number of different colored pieces together to be able to get all of the nice colors there for the head. But the vents on the side of the helmet, they really should be black, but they don't have that for this thing. The G40th has that, because the G40th is just a bit completely different style head design there, and the real grade had that as well, so that is something. But other than that, quite a decent, even this, yeah, then the shield here, the cross mark, this is another piece that is molded in plastic, so they did a quite a nice job on that. So how does this thing compare in terms of articulation? And I think this is kind of where you're going to start to see really the limits of the entry grade. Because for the waist here, and it might actually be easier for me to just pop off some of these parts and we can talk about that. So you can see for that side skirt piece, it's just one kind of solid plastic ball that just pops out there. So yeah, for the leg joint here, you've just got another kind of solidly molded ball there. So you are able to turn this around because of that, and the way they have it molded, even though that is a solidly molded ball there for that joint, he is actually able, whoops, it just popped out, but he's not going to be able to do a perfect 90-degree up and go for the leg there, but is able to actually get the leg up quite nice, and you still actually get kind of a double jointed knee there. It was a really simple joint there on the leg, and for the foot down here at the bottom, you've got just a simple ball joint kind of going into the front of the foot. Let me see if I can pop this out here, maybe. There we go. So you can kind of see that joint that they have set up for the foot there. It just pops into the front of the foot and actually does a pretty decent job. It's not going to be the best in terms of articulation, but actually it's really not that bad, I do have to say. You are able to rotate the waist around if you want, and actually, you can see here in the chest, this red part here at the bottom is separate from the one on the top, and that is also separate from the blue pieces. And there's a joint in the center of this torso, so you are actually able to get a pretty decent range of flexibility here in the torso for this kit. So that's quite cool to see, and as you can see there, his arms actually are able to go up quite high for that simple joint that they have set up. So you are not going to be able to get really any kind of forward motion though for the shoulder joint on this kit. The HG kits have that really nice joint that kind of pops forward, and that will be able to let you kind of reach forward, but that's not going to be the case for this guy, but it is able to go up, so that's cool. But other than that, you do have, let's reach his arm around. Might be easier for me to pop off his weapon for a second there. Let's take a look at that elbow joint. So the elbow is able to bend up quite nice, and the hand is going to be just a simple ball joint style. Now with the hands for this kit, you only get the two hands. So the only hand that you get for this kit is just that closed fist with the hole in the center of it, which perfectly lines up with the handle for the gun. So, and it's actually a decent, nice, tight fit on that gun. You don't have to worry about it falling out if you were to turn this guy upside down, so that is quite nice to see there. And the shield here, let's talk about the shield. So the shield, I have it mounted right now just using the peg hole on the side of his hand. However, if you would like to have him gripping onto the shield instead of just using that peg, then you are able to take out this. Let me see if I can pull it out. There you go. It comes with this handle for the shield. So right now I had it more in the kind of the closed position, and he's not able to actually grip onto the handle in the closed position. You would have to pop that out, and then you could rotate it so that it is in the forward position, and then you could actually be able to equip it onto his hand like so. And actually you can have him gripping onto it and plug in that peg at the same time, which I guess I probably should have done originally, but I had it in that closed position. You also do get two beam saber handles for this guy, which are on his back. However, there were no beam saber, clear plastic beam saber parts included at all with this kit, so you only get the beam saber handles. Alright, so that is pretty much going to wrap it up, I think, for looking closely at this guy. Let's take a look at the head movement. Yeah, the head has got a nice kind of double, whoops, going to just pop off his entire head. That looks strange, doesn't it? Hey, how's it going? Alright, let's see if I can pull this off out. So you can see the kind of the ball joint setup that they have going on for the neck. It's really similar to what you have in a lot of other HG kits, except that's another thing, there is no polycaps at all for this kit. Everything is just a solid plastic piece. Whoops, I'm losing one of his beam sabers there, and let's go ahead and pop his helmet back on. There we go. Alright, so there we pretty much have it then for a look at this special edition release of the entry grades that come in nice, cool looking buckets. So that was the metallic color version, and then yeah, you do get the Christmas color version of this kit, which is the exact same kit, but just molded completely in completely different colors. So entry grade, the first time I get to see an entry grade, so it was quite exciting, and of course you do get those delicious snacks to go along with this kit. Alright, I think with that I am going to go ahead and wrap up this video because I've got quite a bit other work to do today. So thank you guys very much for watching. The next thing that I will be recording is my kind of a review of this HG kit number 21 RX-78, and then I'll be doing the G30th version after this. So I think after these two, this and the G30th, I think that will pretty much do it for all of the RX-78s in the HG scale anyway, that are currently still available. Of course, there's that old 1990 multicolor injection release that is completely out of production. I won't be reviewing that one. But yeah, alright, so lots of RX-78 fun coming here in the future. So for these releases here, if you were able to get an order in at all before they are gone, get the orders in as soon as possible. If you were watching this at some point in the future, sorry, these guys are out of stock and unavailable at that time. Will they ever come back? My gut tells me no, but never, never say never. So, but you will still always be able to order the entry grades, I do imagine, and his initial release, minus the gun and minus the shield, will be due out in December of 2020 here. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please stay tuned for some more 40th anniversary RX-78 fun that is coming out later this year.